What's going on, everybody? Let's get right into this. I'll give a minute. Jonathan, what's going on, my man? Let's give some folks a couple minutes to hop on. All right. But hope you're all doing well. Happy 4th of July to all of you. Really happy 4th of July. I won't keep you very long, but there's something here I want to go over. So, John K. Yeah, we know, right? The Yankees aren't looking good right now. There's a lot of stuff you haven't heard. Scott Efrost has been called up. Javian Sandridge is back. Clark Schmidt on an IL now. We don't know. I mean, he's getting an MRI done, so we don't know what's going to happen here. And I think they've sent down Clayton Beater as well. I think so, and that's kind of the reporting right now, Consiglietti. But I'm going to get right into this. Right, I'm going to go over let's go over these. These are the batting stats, right? As of today, as of last night, offense, and then we're going to go pitching and fielding. We'll see where the Yankees stand here. Hitting offensively, the Yankees are an 8th out of 30. So batting average of 254. All right. Now hold on a second. Let me pull this on the screen here for you so you guys can see. Hang on one second. All right. So I want you guys to follow along with me. Let's do this. Okay. Let's see here. Let's put this on the screen. Okay. All right. Check this out. So offensively, the Yankees are ranked 8th out of 30 with a 254 team average right now. First place is 262, so not a ton higher, but still better. But there are two teams ranked 2nd and 3rd in the American League East ahead of them. So those are the guys I'd be focused on right now. They're both batting 259. Okay, and the majority of the teams ahead of them are in the American League. Rays, the Jays, the Tigers. Running out the Cubs, Astros. So about 3 and 4. So, but as you can see here, their on-base percentage collectively is 338. Slugging's 448. OPS is 786. The top OPS is 796. So there's not really a big difference between 1 and 8. I wanted to give you just paint the picture so you, because there's so much crap that we're hearing from all these people, right? All over the place. Most of them on social media. Not really beat writers. Beat writers can go into the details, but they're not the ones that have these tantrums, right? So that's okay. Let's go over to pitching. Okay, the Rangers are first. The Yankees are 10th out of 30, 372 team ERA, and they've had some bad performances in the back end of the rotation, which is contributing that. But the top is 323, the Texas Rangers. It's a pretty good, and they're 0.17 points ahead of the Giants. Then you got the Mets, who are overachieving right now. Even though a lot of people saying their pitching sucks, they need pitching. They are overperforming just like they did last year. The Royals are up there, the Astros, the Tigers, Pirates too, Padres, Phillies, and then Yankees. The Yankees are ahead of the Dodgers. The Dodgers are number 22 out of 30. Okay, so their offense is carrying much of the weight. But I want you to take a look at this as well. Let's look at the Yankees here. See if we can highlight them. Whoops. 372 ERA, 9 shutouts, 34 here was a 769 innings pitched. They are striking out 780. So they average more than a strikeout an inning by a little bit. Look at the top, 772 innings pitched by the Rangers, but they're only striking out 686. So they average less than a strikeout per innings pitch. They're just a hell of a lot more efficient. But look at the base on balls, okay? The Yankees, this is the thing that I've talked about, 292. With the exception of the New York Mets, there's no other team right in that ranking that has more walks than the Yankees, right? This is where they need to improve. This is why I keep saying getting some relievers here who don't walk a lot of batters would be a good idea. This is where they can kind of gradually move up the rankings. Look at the teams ahead of them. Tigers, Royals, and the Rangers. There are only 3 American League teams ahead of them. None of them in the East. The Rays are right below them. But that's where we got right here. Now, let's go to fielding because, we get so much of this fundamentally. They're lacking fundamentals. They lack holding people accountable. This is a talking point we get from so many content creators here. Where are the Yankees? Right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're ranked 12th, just below the Tampa Bay Rays, just ahead of the New York Detroit Tigers. 987 fielding percentage. At the top, 991. So not that far from the top. But you just see the difference between 1 and 12. Okay. Putouts. Where are they? 2,309. Assists. There. 735. Okay. Errors. 41 errors. Teams ahead of them. There's nobody ahead of them. Well, only the Rays ahead of them with 42 errors. Below them, a lot more. There's teams around there hovering around 43, 44. Some are in the 50s down below. Some are in the 70s. The Rockies and even the Red Sox. You want to talk about fundamentally inept? Look at the Red Sox, second to last on the bottom here. 72 errors. The Yankees have just a little more than half of that. Orioles right here, 48. Okay? So just put this in perspective. A lot of this inept fundamentals revolve around Anthony Volpe, right? You could see that. And some of it revolves around Jazz Chisholm playing out of position, which is a clear need for them to bring in a third baseman so that Jazz can play second, right? Where he's just fundamentally better at second base. Getting somebody who can credibly play third. That would also take a lot of the load off of Anthony Volpe too, because he tends to be not in line when he's diving for a ball and so on and so forth. Tends to be a little bit behind himself or ahead of himself, and he's not making the plays that he should be making, right? So I wanted to give you this here. So the Yankees are essentially in the top 10, just out of the top 10 here. Now let me take this off. Top 10 in baseball, pitching, hitting, and fielding. Okay? So wanted to put that out there just so you can see it for yourself. Okay? And those are the stats. And I will attach this down below so you can take a look at it. We have so many YouTubers right now who spend so much time patting themselves on the back, stroking their egos, calling themselves the greatest, revolutionary, blah, blah, blah. And it's the same bull crap all the time. Fire Boone. And not a single one is proposing an alternative, a better alternative. Not a single one. So the Yankees, there's room for growth, improvement, yes. And do I think the Yankees will turn it around? Yes. But this is what we're dealing with right now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Colorado's third baseman would be a significant upgrade at third base. Offensively, he's still yet to be desired. He leaves a lot to be desired. But again, he would make third base better, and he'll be able to move Jazz to second, which would make the lineup better. Okay. So hope the Yankees can beat the Mets too. But again, there's so much of this crap that's being peddled on people right now, right? On YouTubers. And then they call out regular YouTubers like myself who don't subscribe to the BS narratives, right? I haven't heard a single person propose a better alternative when they say fire Boone. If you folks watching these people, do you ask them, why don't you propose an alternative? They need to do better too. Tell the Yankees, these content creators need to do better. Period. And I'm not saying I need to do better, because I do too. But again, his job security might be in question, but they're not going to publicly talk about it, Deron. And again, who is the alternative to replace him? Who's the better alternative, and why? Why can nobody answer this question? Okay. Why can nobody answer this question? Yeah, it looks like we do need another starter to go with two bullpen arms and an infielder who can put the ball in play and cause some movement on the base paths. But honestly, I'm sick of these constant people peddling this fire Boone stuff, or should the Yankees fire? Just clickbait garbage, and none of them providing alternatives. Why is Dusty Baker not a better option? No, they have not made a manager change. Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. They haven't. The Torrey to Girardi happened at mid off season, so did Girardi Boone. You're right about that. Yep, and even Showalter to Torrey, that happened off season as well. Yep, and generally teams try to avoid doing that, right? No. But what's with the constant rants and nobody providing alternatives? Nobody. Why are these people unable to provide alternatives? Like stop calling yourself the best. Stop calling yourself revolutionary. Stop stroking your ego on YouTube. If you can't even do that, that's the bare minimum. Can't take any of you seriously. And people can say whatever they want and do whatever they want on YouTube. When their own channels, that's totally fine. But why are we gaslighting people with garbage? You would like to see, well, if he's managing the Reds and he's good at developing, kind of an underperforming team and developing kids, and they're going to surround Terry Francona with, some good players there. And at his age, he's probably better in a less pressure environment. But he is one of the best, Terry Francona. But that doesn't mean he can come here and be great in New York. It's a different environment here. You have to have a temperament to do this. And having played here can serve as an advantage. Okay? But you could be just like Dusty Baker. He could be great in Houston. Doesn't mean he's going to be great in New York. Alex Cora could have been great in Boston. Doesn't mean he's going to be great in New York. Okay? And people need to keep that in mind. Yeah, been around in the game a long time, but it doesn't make you great in New York. He's well respected and well loved. I respect Dusty Baker too. Doesn't mean he'd be great in New York. And just like I said recently, this week, right? Because people would give him the same, if it was him or Francona, and they didn't perform, people would be trashing him. Just like fans, and I'm very confident when I say the same fans that are trashing Anthony Volpe right now are going to also trash George Lombard if he struggles too when he comes up, and if he doesn't perform, they're gonna trash Lombard too. That's just that's the universe that so many people live in. And yeah, we do need to treat a true leader, a true table setter. Yes, indeed. Yep. Boone is not the person who designs these rosters, right? He's not the person who designs the lineup. He doesn't know any of that stuff. And you replace Boone with one of these guys, and the same thing happens. What happens then? Then you realize that Boone wasn't necessarily the biggest problem here. Is anybody going to admit it? No. No. Why would they, right? You want real talk? Here it is. Forget the bullshit narratives and the talking points. Own it. Own it, man. Well, you're right about that too, John. Yeah, a lot of Yankee fans are not capable. I'll put this up on the screen of giving the young player the time needed to make adjustments to the big leagues and the Bronx. Being in the big leagues is hard enough. It's hard. You're absolutely right, man. And fans who don't play the game, who don't understand what that means, and who say it should be easier than it is, don't know what they're talking about. They lack perspective because they've either never played the game or don't understand what it's like. The perspective from TV is different than it is from the dugout, than it is from on the field. Okay? Yeah, perform now or refute. That's exactly what the mentality is. And you got all these people who pose as real talkers, who pose as revolutionary, who say the same crap. They couldn't step on the field and do this. Tens of thousands of people, professional baseball players, only not even 800 make it to the majors. Okay? Not even 800. Mm-hmm. Casey Stengel also had Hall of Famers there. If you do have the best players, yeah, managing is easier when you have the best players everywhere. That doesn't mean the most expensive players. It means the best fits, right? Well, well, I appreciate you, Beagle. Well, it's like even, I don't know everything. I'm humble enough to admit it too. But I can speak from some kind of experience. I did play baseball, right? I understand what it's like on the field. I understand what it's like in the dugout. Okay, it doesn't make me all knowing, but it's pretty obvious when people say this crap who have never played the game, and like they just completely lack perspective, and they call themselves the greatest thing since sliced bread. Why? Because you think you know somebody who's connected to somebody who's connected to the Yankees? Get real. Yeah, well, exactly too. And Aaron Boone's first coaching experience was managing the Yankees. He was kind of thrown to the wolves. That's a good point too. Yeah, and the mechanics of baseball. I mean, just stuff like reaction time to a hard hit ground ball. You have a split second, especially if you're third base. You're the closest one to the ball. It comes to you playing shallow, right? And like in Little League, there was divots everywhere, so a ground ball could hit you in the face more often than not. So reaction time matters, whether you're on the field, whether you're at the plate, in the batter's box. Reaction time matters. Even on the pitcher's mound, somebody hits a comebacker to you. You have that much time to react. And then if you get hit, what happens? Oh, he wasn't quick enough. You have any idea how hard it is to do that? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We have so many rants and tantrums, and not a single person is providing an alternative, a solution. Not one of them. And these are content creators with thousands of followers. Thousands of followers. That is a joke. A joke. You have fantasy about the Yankees and sitting next to the offensive Jason Dominguez, Jones, Judge, Lombard a third. It could happen. Jazz taking Rice at first. That could very. I think so. I could tangibly see Rice at first, and what do you call it? Spencer Jones in the outfield if Paul Goldschmidt doesn't come back, and if Cody Bellinger drops out. If Cody Bellinger drops back in, he might be at first next year. He might alternate with Rice at first. And if Spencer Jones is ready, I would have him in the outfield if he's ready. But I can see that too, Deron. I mean, it is a tangible solution here. But let's go back to all the talking points. They're fundamentally inept and blah, blah, blah. Just showed you the stats, right? The fielding percentage and the MLB rankings of the teams. They're in pretty much the top third of every category. And again, I'm going to attach this down below so you can look for yourself. And a lot of this fundamentally inept talking point revolves around who? Anthony Volpe, right? Because it does. He's the major league leader in errors in his position. That's what we keep hearing from content creators who couldn't do the same thing themselves. Right? You know, they are on a massive rut. There's no denying that. There's no denying that. They got their asses handed to them by the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are surprisingly a good team. This is why, and I'll say this again: the American League East is not a division. Do you think any national team wants to go out and play the Blue Jays right now? No. Blue Jays are a scary team right now. They're a scary team without Bichette, without Santander, right? Without Varsho. The Yankees need to be better. Yeah, 2009 Yankees. Yeah, they had a lot of guys with a high batting average. Yeah, yes, they did, and they were less based on home runs. But they also had several Hall of Famers on the team. So, and they brought in Mark Teixeira. They brought in Nick Swisher. They had Derek Jeter there. They had Jorge Posada. They had the core four there. So the 2009 Yankees was a very, very special team. Very special team. I'm not sure if any of them. I'm not sure. I mean, one of them might be. It depends on what you can get back. Cunningham or Hess or LaGrange. My guess is one of them might go, but not all three of them. But it really depends on what you can get back. I'm not trading these guys for Sandy Alcantara. Right? I'm not trading him for one of the Zach Gallen. So many people are saying the Yankees should trade Spencer Jones with Zach Gallen. What planet are we living on here? Spencer Jones for 2 months of Zach Gallen? Or 2 months of Eugenio Suarez? Come on. There isn't a player that moves the needle enough to justify giving Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez in a trade right now. Not a single player that moves the needle enough at a position in need for the Yankees. Sports talk, what's happening? Not a single person. Skeens is not available. Neither is Scooble. So that's pointless entertaining that. Happy 4th to you. And happy 4th to all of you as well. So, Schlittler is not on the 40 man. Yeah, he has to be put on the 40 man and put on the 26 at some point too. So thanks, Sports. I appreciate you, man. Left the outside pitch if we're it's and again, like, what are the other criticisms? The Yankees don't bunt. Do you think pitchers can't adapt to the bunts? Can't see them coming? Pitchers adapt accordingly, right? McMahon is very. I mean, if you can get McMahon and Jake Bird on one of those relievers from the Rockies, that is a good trade. But that doesn't mean they're done. Beyond that, they still need more. So maybe two multiplayer trades might be a good idea for the Yankees. But I don't know. Yeah, we're in a crappy stretch, Jocelyn. There's no doubt about that. So the Mets. The Mets are in a crappy stretch too. Well, this is true too. The Mets did get shut out 3 games in a row by Pirates. Yeah, just barbecuing, hanging out with my kids. Sports talk. Josh Smith from the Rangers. I mean, it's good that fans are coming up with names and then just putting forth ideas instead of spending so much time saying how bad Boone, how bad Volpe, right? Can you folks tell me the same thing? Why these other channels spend so much time trashing Boone and trashing people that yet none of them propose better alternatives? Yet they call themselves so great. They're constantly patting themselves on the back and stroking their egos. Yet none of them can come up with better ideas. Can you folks explain that? Do you folks understand why people do that? Why the channels do that? Cardinals did, yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of shutouts, man. It's a lot of shutouts. Believe me, the Yankees do need to get to a hot streak. Yes, they do. I think they're off Monday, so they got to win this freaking series. Well, I'm not saying you, Beagle, but like, you know what I mean. Like, people spend so much time. Here's my rant, my rant, my rant. Almost every other video is a rant. Is a tantrum, is a trashing of somebody. Right? My thoughts, I mean, both teams are not playing well, sports talk, and I think the Yankees need to win 2 out of 3 to kind of start clawing themselves back. No. Yeah. I sure hope so, Jocelyn. I sure hope so. We got to beat these guys. The Yankees are moving prospects up, which is good. They need to. They need to. Yeah, Beagle. Dodgers third baseman injured in collision. One time, looking for a third baseman. I doubt the Mets are going to sweep sports talk, but we'll see. Who's the Dodgers third baseman, by the way? Is it Muncy? Muncy? Well, exactly too, Jonathan. A lot without facts, it's just talk. It's just but people go there all the time, right? They watch these folks. These people have thousands of subscribers. Some of them tens of thousands. If they do, they do, sports talk. But I'm not giving them a sweep ahead of time. Oh, people can rant all they want, Daron. We know that. People rant here too. But let's also rant with I encourage folks to rant with the facts, on the facts, right? Yeah, fire Boone, DFA judge, release call, exactly. You know, people, it's just this, it's a rant all the time, yet they call themselves these awesome, they're the best, they're revolutionary, yet they provide no solutions at all, no better alternatives. And please stop calling yourself great. If all you do is rant. There's nothing great about that. White's, well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, Cabrera's definitely missed, Joseph. There's no doubt about that. He's definitely missed. Yep, yep, yep. Same here, Duran. I mean, I'm glad that they're, and I want to look and see if the Yankees lineup has come out yet. For the game? No, not yet. Okay, no lineup yet. Cubs place Jameson tie on a 15-day out. Yeah. Same team together. Yeah, he didn't put the same team together this year. It's a different team. Different team. Opinions podcast. Different team. Yeah, I think he was having some fun when he says, "Yeah, release judge and call." Yeah. Oh yeah, 2022. That was a rough season. Yeah, rough season, man. But you remember these guys went to the ALCS with IKF. They went to the ALCS with Domingo Herman and Josh Donaldson. So they did do this. Yeah. Well, they play at 3 today, so the lineup's not out yet. So, oh well. I'll get it to you when it does come out. But again, we have the piece. Yeah, we do, Jocelyn. You're right about that too. And I hope the pieces, start to right the ship, start to play around, and start to play better. So, good luck with the K's. Not exactly what you mean by that, but okay. Good, happy Fourth to you too. Uh, Peraza, I think he's trade bait. Yeah. Yeah. Be a good series, Giants Hayes. Giants Athletics. I think Peraza's trade bait. I think it could be a reason why they signed Mickey Lopez yesterday as another defensively skilled infielder. He doesn't hit much, but could make room for moving Peraza because he plays multiple positions too. Mickey Lopez. He's a veteran too, like a 30-year-old vet. Yep. Maybe you can answer this, Teron, too. Nicky Lopez can't really hit, but he can field. He was a finalist for the Gold Glove last year in the National League. Probably, yeah, probably. Well, well, that's the other thing too. Like Pablo Reyes, when he was playing regularly in spring training, he was hitting well. And he was got garbage time up here with the Yankees. He didn't play well. So how he was deployed matters too. Max Muncy's out 6 weeks with a bone bruise and collision. 6 weeks, wow. Don't be surprised if they go after Ryan Hayes or Ryan McMahon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no way I would trade Dominguez or Jones for Brian Hayes. I wouldn't trade Rice for India's going to be free agent. Indy's going to be free agent at the end of the year. Rice has 5 years of control left. So, appreciate your SGA. Dodgers sweep. We'll see if they sweep the Astros. I don't know. The Astros are pretty decent. Yeah, your book's offensively. Unfortunately, the stats say otherwise. But I just had the stat rankings up here. And I'm going to attach it down below so you can see. They're top 3 in hitting, pitching, and fielding. Top third, actually. Top third. Top third. Not top 3 in baseball. There's certain categories where they're top 3, but overall, they're top third. Well, I don't think you should have a channel if you know what the hell you're talking about, right? Sports talk. But people just do this because they know getting rants and having tantrums gets clicks. There's a community of people who don't care about facts. That's not me. I doubt Austin Wells is going to get traded. Wells get traded. But could you trade somebody like Rafael Flores for one of their big relievers? Or JC Escarra for one of their big relievers? You could trade Escarra and then call up Rafael Flores to play with Austin Wells. Flores is a gun for an arm. A cannon for an arm. India wants to join the Mets. Okay. Good. I'm not sure if Wells is expendable. He's a starter, so. Well, what kind of blockbuster trade could you make? And Arias is not. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year too. So, if I'm going to trade him, if you're going to trade one of our catcher, it's got to be for controllable year relief pitching. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's the other thing too is Hal going to veto big trades. We don't know. Like, it's you either have to be all in or all out right now. Those are the two choices you have, Hal. You have to be all in or all out. Right? If you're not all in, then you can't blame Cashman, you can't blame Boone. If you're hamstringing them, you can't blame him. And this goes for the fans too. If Hal's hamstringing them, don't blame the GM, don't blame the manager. Okay? You can if you want, but it's going to get called out. Young was sent down to Texas. Yes, he was. And if Hal's going to overrule them, he should be the one to step up in front and say that he did. And not let Cashman take the bullets for him, not let Boone take the bullets for him. Own it, man. Own it. Just like I tell the same thing with the content creators, too. You ask Cashman to do something, and he does it, and it doesn't work out, and then you go right back to blaming Cashman. Own the fact that you asked him to do it, too. Stop pointing it off on him. Talk a big game, but you don't never back it up. Well, George Steinbrenner, yeah, and he was also, the undisputed wealthiest owner in the game. He had a ship industry helping him finance the Yankees. So, and he was also universally hated by the owners. But yeah, nobody questioned his, and he didn't always make the right decisions. He tried to trade Rivera, he tried to trade Jeet, and he, guess who talked him out of it? Hal. Out of trading Jeter and Rivera. Hal talked him out of it. His son, the guy that so many people hate right now. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you, Clemenza. Nobody really questioned whether he was all in. His method of all in was unconventional, but that's George Steinbrenner. Right? That's George Steinbrenner. He was the vocal, he was the loud voice of the Yankees. Yep. You could think they're cooked. That's fine, Jake. Bullpen is fried. They need reinforcements. And with Hill out, the Hill, excuse me, Schmidt out. They got Rodon and Freed. They need another arm. And so I just said what I said a few minutes ago, Jake. Hal has to decide whether he's all in or all out. If you're all in, you have to make the trades. You have to make the moves that are going to hurt. You want to talk about capitalizing. You want to take advantage of the rest of the prime years of Judge and Cole and them. You got to be all in. If you don't, then move on from these guys. Just own the fact that you're not all in. All right? Own the fact. Be honest with the fans. And that's your call, Hal. That's not Cashman's decision to make. That's yours. It's not Boone's decision to make. It's yours. He'll always be seen as not good as his dad. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And fans will always say they're not going to win a championship under Hal, under Cashman, under Boone. And I agree too, even if he wins one, that's probably not going to be enough 2P. They're still going to find ways to trash. This is what the fans have been programmed to believe. Right? Yeah. 2026, yeah, I mean, I hope so, Lou. But you have to decide whether you're all in or all out, and Hal, at the deadline, you have to decide, and you have to commit to the decision. And tell people, back it up with action. Don't tell people you're all in and we couldn't make any moves, because you know you can make some moves. Okay? You know you can make some moves. I saw what Boone said, stay focused and not get phased. He's not going to draw panic in the club, man. And again, he knows his team better than we do. What do you expect him to say that would propose good leadership? Wait, Garrett, what do you in your opinion, Jake? Okay. What in your opinion, what would constitute good leadership for you? And by the way, thank you, Jonathan. The lineup just came out. Here's the lineup. Guess who's leading off? Jason Dominguez, left field. Aaron Judge batting second at right field. Cody Bellinger batting third and center. Stanton's back in there cleaning up at DH. Jazz Chisholm batting fifth at third base. Paul Goldschmidt batting sixth at first base. JC Escar's at the dish, batting seventh. Volpe's batting eighth at shortstop. DJ LeMahieu's ninth, second base. And on the mound, Marcus Stroman. And let's see who he's facing, actually, because the pitching matchups were not out as of last night. Let's see who's pitching for the Mets. Justin Hagenman. Those are the pitching matchups. So, Roderick Arias, Brandon Maya, Eris Merriman. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Ralph. They have trade pieces. Yeah, you're both right, Clemenza. Hal needs to decide, and if he decides that they're all in, they have to make big moves. There's no other option. What else are you going to do? You can hope that things will get better, but you're going to need some action to make things, to help facilitate that. Hopes and dreams are only going to get you so far. Well, he has to have a little more fire. What he told the play, you didn't hear what he told the players. You heard what he told the reporters, or what other people said he said to the reporters. Not what he said to the players. He could have had more fire. Okay, we don't know. And he's not going to have a closed door. It's a point of closed door meetings. It's not open to the press. Right? It's not open to beat writers. We're just going by what's said secondhand. Well, I wouldn't say it's delusional, but of course he's going to say that to his team. And why would he tell the team otherwise? They have to back it up with performance. He could say, you're not as good as the Blue Jays right now, whatever. But if you want to boost team morale, crapping on your players is not going to way to do it. Right? And getting them to listen to you is not the way to do it. And Boutinho is never going to badmouth his players in front of the media. He's never going to do it. That's not leadership. You criticize privately, you praise publicly. As a martial arts instructor of 2 decades, I can attest to that. You do not call out students on the mats in front of everybody else, ever. That's beyond inappropriate. Dominguez right now, yeah, probably. I mean, I personally would be still bad because he's the hottest bat. He has nobody to drive in batting leadoff. That's why I would bat him behind Judge. So that it's harder for them to intentionally walk Judge. But that's just me. So, well, we're a little decimated right now in the starting rotation too, Jocelyn. Clark Schmidt just got put on the IL this morning. So, yep. Yeah. What's said in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse, right? Again, we're going by what beat writers say, or what beat writers say Spoon said. That's what we're going by. None of us were in the room with them. Not one of us, including me. Luis Hill there's a chance he might start his rehab assignment this weekend, but he's still not going to be back until late July, maybe the first week in August. And again, I don't know if you folks remember me, but I proposed trading Luis Hill in the offseason after he won his rookie of the year because I knew something like this was going to happen. And it did. Right? So if I'm them, I'm probably going to transition him to long relief first and trade for a starter for the deadline. Make an option Luis Hill, yeah, maybe. But my goal is they're going to try to get up to the major league because he's give him his rehab assignment, get him his games, and then at the very least, you could throw him in the bullpen as long relief. Yep. No, I don't think you're that far off, Susan. I mean, but Glaber did it to himself a lot too. So, I mean, and I understand that people are against it. They're like, "You're nuts, man! He's a rookie of the year." I get it, but he's got injury history coming off Tommy John. I get it. People are totally entitled to a clemency. I get it, but there's a reason I suggested trading Hill because of something like this. We're waiting almost more than half the season for him to come back. Well, yeah, Glaber is performing in Detroit with no pressure. You're absolutely right about that too. It's a different environment. He couldn't do it in New York. People are pissed off that he's doing it in Detroit. Detroit is a different environment than New York. And I think I agree too, Jocelyn. They did the right thing by putting Schmidt on the IL. Yeah. No, I get you, Duran. I get you. Well, the problem with Jazz not being a second right now is they don't have a third baseman. This is what they're trying to get, a third baseman, so they can move Jazz to second, which is the best plan for that infield alignment, Jake. So, and then once they get a third baseman, they can move Jazz to second. That would solve a lot of the infield fundamental and defensive problem. So, Lombard Jr. Look, and they are projected to sign Wandy Asijan, who's the number 1 international free agent after this offseason. During this offseason, he's a shortstop. So from Dominican Republic. Wandy Asijan. Asigen. So I'm hearing Lombard's untouchable, but he's struggling in Double-A right now. But you never know. The only thing I do know is that the fans that are bashing Volpe right now will be the same fans bashing Lombard if he comes up and doesn't perform. Might as well just own that. Stop denying it. That's true too, yeah. Clemente, you're right. Players who leave New York have a better season. You're right. It's a hornet's nest here. You're not dealing with mosquitoes. You're dealing with killer Asian Japanese Hornets everywhere. Who are you going to replace him with, Lou? Who's the better option? Which I think is one reason why they're signing this kid Assagen. Yeah, I don't think Volpe's a bust just yet either. Because he's still putting forth 20-plus home runs and projected to put that in probably 80 ribbies in a 3 to 4 WAR season. That's generally not constituted a bust. If you're expecting him to be let's say Bobby Witt Jr., and he doesn't, then people are going to consider him a bust, yeah. But I think he's league average too, Duran. I would agree with that. I'm not expecting superstar. I don't know who started projecting him that. I don't think it was fair, just like I don't think it's fair to put that expectation on Jason Dominguez either. Right? I mean, it's definitely not for lack of hustle with Volpe. I mean, it could be, overreacting or just not doing the right thing fundamentally at the time. But it's not for lack of hustle. Gleyber Torres was lack of hustle. He had the talent, but lacked the hustle, lacked the discipline, lacked the focus. It seems as if Volpe's lacking some of that Gleyber Torres talent, but he has that character that Gleyber Torres did not. So he's kind of the flip of Gleyber Torres. When you say they hyped him up, who was they franchise? Because it wasn't the Yankees that hyped him up. It wasn't Cashman that hyped him up. It wasn't Hal. It wasn't Boone that hyped him up. Who was it? Yep. He's league average. And if you're league average, I mean, I don't think league average is a bust. And again, who hyped him? Who hyped him that way? Beat writers who don't play the game, who never played the game? Scouts? Because it wasn't the Yankees. The Yankees gave him an opportunity. They're loyal to their players, but it wasn't the Yankees' powers that be that hyped him that way. And the source of the hype has to be considered. How Volpe is going to produce, yeah. That doesn't say he's going to be a superstar. That's not hype. That's not hyping is saying he's going to be the next, Mickey Mantle, like people are saying about Dominguez, next Mike Trout, or the next Derek Jeter, right? Cashman never said that, ever. He doesn't say that type of stuff. Okay. And Cashman doesn't say he's going to crush it. That's not. Cashman doesn't talk like that. And if he did, show us the clip, and I'll eat my words. Show us the clip where he said he's going to crush it. He did play, and again, he was also one of the top. Baseball America had him as a top 10 prospect. That's Baseball America. It's not Cashman, the Yankees. Okay. The Seager, there's no guarantee Seager would have been great here either. But that's the other common talking point. Why Volpe and instead Seager? $300+ million for Corey Seager. There's no. What if Seager would have stunk in the World Series, like Shohei Ohtani did? Would you be blaming Cashman for that, Boone for that, or Seager? Where is the clip, Jake? Show us. Show us the clip. Find it. Share it. You're more than welcome to share it. Caleb Durbin. Yeah, Caleb Durbin. Durbin's the guy that went with Cortez of the Brewers for Devin Williams. Yeah, Seager's not perfect either. Trevor Story. Yeah, they were saying, yeah. Carlos Correa. Caleb Dermott, I think he's doing okay. I don't know. Now, Riggio is not ready yet, but he's ahead of Lombard right now, offensively. No. I mean, I don't think Riggio's ready for the majors yet. I think he needs a little stint at AAA too. He's on a tear, and like I said, he's ahead of the Lombard, but that doesn't mean he's ready to go from AA to the majors. Like the same thing applies to the other players from other teams. Same thing's got to apply to our own players too. It's got to be equal footing here. Yep. We'll see what happens, Frank. We will see what happens today. Yep. Dominguez, who are they going to get instead of Dominguez? And again, none of those players were worth the $300 million. Bogarts, Seager. The best shortstop of all who it looks like has been Trey Turner with the Phillies. He's the right fit in the Phillies. I think at some point the Yankees will. I mean, he's on its July 31st deadline, and that was made official with the Yankees. So I don't know if he doesn't perform, then you get rid of him. Then don't know. They'll leave 15 from next year. They were willing to DFA him last year, and Judge and Rizzo stopped it. So the Yankees have a little bit more of an argument this year to DFA him and move on from him, get someone else. Why did they need to be here? And what if they would have sucked, franchise? We're assuming that they would have been great here. Not everybody's great here. Right? And then this is the thing that we got to factor in, franchise. At least I think we need to factor in. Not everybody will factor in because they'll just go right into blaming Boone for him not being great or blaming Cashman for not being great. But I actually like to live in reality. I like to consider all the options here. I mean, if Cabrera didn't, fracture his ankle, he obviously would be here helping. So maybe they wouldn't need an infield, but they need one now. They need one now. They definitely need one. Paying him $300 million is better. Not necessarily. Wow, that's your opinion, franchise, but go right ahead. I wouldn't have paid any of those guys $300 million. Trey Turner looks like he's shown to be relatively valuable for the Phillies, as is Bryce Harper. But good for them. Have either one of them won the World Series with the Phillies together? Right. They were together with the Phillies. They didn't win one. And again, why is the assumption that the expensive players are the only better options? I would take Brendan Donovan over any of those guys. Correa, Turner, Seager, any of them, I would take him. If the Yankees could get him. He's on the cheap. He's arbitration. Because to me, he's a better fit for this team than the other guys are. Contract doesn't make you a better fit. Rodon's been better than people think. He sucked his first year, but he's been better. He's one of the rotation guys he's not the problem. But I love people who just bring up Rodon like he's not the problem. What pitcher can do what Rodon does? And why aren't they doing it? If they could, they would be doing it already. That's my question too. Like, why are folks pawning off the blame on people who aren't the problem? Uh, he's up there up among the American League leaders and wins and strikeouts and everything else. And he's him and Fried are holding this rotation together. So he is helping. It's a good question about Riccio. I don't know. I don't know. They need a big deadline. They really do. I mean, yeah, I mean, Cashman really needs to help the team, and he's trying. But the other, like I said yesterday, other teams have to make their players available, and they're not going to go out of their way to help Cashman and the Yankees. We know that. We know the Yankees are hurting, and they're going to try to extort Cashman any way they can. This we know too. He is working on multiple positions. But if you're talking about Cashman, yes, addressing multiple positions. But if you're talking about Mauricio, I think he's just working at second base. Ace, my man, is here in the building. What's good? And we're talking about this like right now. He's like, you know, and I'm not talking about you here, but there's a couple content creators right there who spend so much time ranting and bashing and saying fire, booing him, even today. And 0 times do they ever propose better alternatives or solutions, right? But I agree, Ace. Yeah, people are going to ask for Lombard and Jones pretty much immediately. That's going to be the asking price. No, I agree with you, realistically, too. Boone is not the major problem here. You could put any manager in there; they'd have the same issues with the lineup, with the roster. This is more of a Cashman thing than it is a Boone thing. I'm not talking about you, Ace. I'm talking about there's a couple of channels who say vocally that they're like the greatest things. They're like there's nothing better than them, and that they peddle the same stuff all the time. And I'm not saying you, bro, because you bring constructive ideas to the table. There's these other channels who don't do that. It's just fire Boone, trash, get rid of hoping, blah blah blah. Never do they propose any better alternatives or ideas how to get there, ever. Right? So it is more of a Hal thing than a Cashman thing. Yeah, it's more of a Cashman thing than a Boone thing, but it's at the end of the day, it's more of a Hal thing than a Cashman thing. You're right about that. Well, that's your opinion that he'll never win a World Series. That's your opinion. I don't know, Duran. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what their thought process is behind that. Who would I trade for Donovan? I would give a fair. I would give a pretty good package for Donovan. I would give Lombard for Donovan and pitching. Wholesale change. I agree. A lot of the front office needs to be, even analytics needs to be. They got to do something there, man. I would try to not give up Spencer Jones, but I don't know if they would need an outfielder. The Cardinals. I think they would need an infielder, which is why I would move Lombard for Donovan. There's only 2 guys I would move Lombard for: Donovan or Skeens. Huh. Yeah, I mean the guys. Goldschmidt's been productive, right? Bellinger's been productive. So to the point, there are questions of whether he'd opt out or opt back in. If he opts out for a bigger contract, did the Yankees give him a qualifying offer? The qualifying offer is going to be less than what they would normally pay him if he did opt in. So, sure, I would give him a qualifying offer. But that's the other thing too, Ralph. Yeah, the Cardinals are very likely not trading Donovan. He's only a guy I would trade for, but again, that doesn't mean he's available. So I would look at Jace Young. I mentioned him. I profiled him too, Ralph. He's a guy I would look at because he's young. He's got controllable years. Yeah, yeah. I think they might trade lighter. They might trade lighter. Why? You're right about that. People definitely don't understand. That doesn't mean we're hyping up. Yeah, exactly. And again, you know, it's not Boone and Cashman and Hal that are hyping these guys up to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's either scouts or beat writers and blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll take Donovan. Donovan's a perfect fit here. Well, exactly too. Peraza's better with the glove, but he's worse with the bat. So again, not really better than Volpe. Could Brian Hayes, as of right now, the rumor is he's a target. That's all we know. Yep. Yeah, well, this is people love to put words in our mouths, don't they, Ace? They love to try to put words in our mouths. Yeah. Like I say all the time, the expensive player doesn't mean the best fit. Okay? Doesn't mean the best fit. And a lot of this defensive ineptitude, fundamental ineptitude, revolves around Anthony Volpe, who's having a terrible year defensively. A lot of it relevant, which is why moving Jazz to second and getting somebody who can credibly play third base is a better plan for the Yankees, which is what they're trying to do. Cancer to the team? No, I don't think he's a cancer to the team. Cancer to the team would be Trevor Bauer, would be Alex Bregman. So I agree, Coach Carl. I mean, yesterday's signing could be like a prelude to bigger moves coming. So Clark Schmidt's on the IL if you haven't heard yet. Have a great 4-2 row. I'll wrap this up in a minute too. And Weaver, and there's no guarantee that Weaver or Williams or both of them are going to come back next year. Oh, exactly. Just because I don't trash Volpe doesn't mean I don't think it's. I think it's like coming in just like exactly the base. Just because I don't trash Cashman doesn't mean I love the guy. I don't. I don't. I don't know if they're going to go after Bichette in all honesty, because of the price tag. Yeah, Peralta is. I think he's a much better option as a must-have than Alcantara. But we'll see what they need one now. Now that Schmidt's on the IL, so that just vaulted to the top of their list, or at least the middle of the list. Yep. He needs to. He needs to snap out of it. The whole team needs to snap out of it. But just think about what I asked you folks. All right, go ahead and enjoy your 4th of July. I'm going to do the same. Have a great day. Okay, well, closers are available right now. I'll ask this last question. Sounds like John Duran, Clase, maybe Kenley Jansen, and if the price is right, Mason Miller. Maybe. But maybe Finnegan and what's the other guy? Kyle Finnegan and Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. So, have a great 4th, everybody. Talk to you next time.